everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our SaaS Bundle webinar.
I wanted to kind of first talk about some of the accounting challenges that SaaS companies have, right? Number one, you need a system that can do recurring billing. You need to be able to set it and let it go because you're growing. You can't hire a bunch of people to deal with that. You need that all to be automated. On the revenue recognition side, you need to be able to have that revenue recognition, again, automatically accounted for and done. So if you're selling annual subscriptions, you need a system to recognize that revenue properly over that year, for example. On the payment side, typically when you see subscriptions, you want automated payments along that, things like credit card or debit cards or bank ACH payments, right? Really make it easy for customers to self-service so that your team doesn't have to get involved with that. Beyond the above, you want subscription management. So as things change with your customers, maybe they buy more with their upsells or downsells. You want to be able to easily prorate it. You need to know when contracts are coming up for renewal. And then you need insights, right? So you need reporting around ARR, MRR, your ads, your churn, your forecast, all that kind of stuff. We are obviously huge fans of NetSuite. That's all we do as a company. Love the product. But when it comes to SaaS and subscription companies, some of the things we're talking about here are not included with just the standard core NetSuite. If you want to get some of these things, you'll need to either add some add-on modules in NetSuite from them. You'll need to maybe look at some integrated third-party solutions, maybe do some kind of clunky workarounds, or you come to KS and get our SaaS bundle and do all this inside of NetSuite, address all these issues. We are a real big believer in Suite Apps. We've been building out Suite Apps for many years, and we right now have 7 Suite Apps available. The big ones we're going to focus on today are the 3 that we put together in what we call our SaaS bundle. Our SaaS bundle is taking our Billfinity solution, our AR toolkit, and our customer portal and putting them together for you as one complete end-to-end AR solution inside of NetSuite. So Billfinity is really our recurring billing and subscription management tool. We then bring in our AR toolkit to help further automate all of your AR functions. And then lastly, we bring in our customer portal to give your customers the ability to do self-service. So that's our solution. And if you look at this, it really creates this virtuous cycle for you. All the billing happens automatically each month, whether it's monthly, quarterly, annually, any type of billing. The rev rec all happens automatically. Invoices and receipts get sent out automatically. If a payment fails, you can automatically send that notification, all that type of stuff. And then you can redirect them to the customer portal to update their payment information automatically. They can reprint invoices there or update anything else they want. This brings you what we call this end-to-end solution where all this happens. Your AR staff doesn't have to deal with any of this, is free to focus on other things. So let's actually go in and take a look at this. So I mentioned that these Suite Apps of ours are all installed as bundles, and I've installed that. And so, you can see them here. Here's our Billfinity bundle is installed. Here's our AR toolkit. Here's our customer portal. And we work with you to install and configure all this, but I'll just kind of show you it's really just a bunch of configuration activity. So there's not any customization that needs to happen. And we'll go through all that with you to make sure that we get this system set up exactly the way you want it to work for you. And again, this is all happening directly inside of NetSuite. Let's start off with the deal from the start to the finish and kind of show you what that looks like. So let's start off. Let's go ahead and create an invoice. All right, so let's say you make a new sale. And with this new sale, let's say we're going to want this invoice to go through an approval flow, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and set myself to be the approver. And this is standard NetSuite, but you notice we also have this external approval. I'll show you when we submit this that this is going to send me an email for approval. So that's using our AR toolkit. Down below, let's go ahead and let's enter an annual subscription item, all right? So I enter this, we've got the rate. A couple things happened automatically with this. Notice how, since we said this was going to default to annual, we've automatically set the billing frequency to annual. We set this transaction, this is going to go from today's date till 1 year from now. Notice down here, we also set the rev rec on this automatically for 1 year, from today for 1 year. And since this item was set up as a subscription item, we pull that in, meaning say this is going to be something that is going to, we want to bill periodically. We want this to be a recurring billing item. All right. I'll also go ahead and say this is a 3-year contract, so we'll put the contract end date in here as well. Now maybe on this invoice, when we sold this, we also sold like a setup fee, right? And so maybe we sold 10 hours of consulting services to do a setup. You might have some one-time hardware fees or anything else like that as well, right? So anything else you can put on here. Notice that this is sub-item, is not populated. There's no rev rec on this because this consulting is set up to just recognize immediately upon invoicing. But I can put them all on this same invoice. All right. I'll go ahead and save this invoice. Now, once we save this invoice from here, since we have this approval flow set up, it's set to automatically send me that invoice for approval every 15 minutes. I don't feel like waiting for that. If you don't feel like waiting for that, you can go ahead and send it right away. So I'll go ahead and do that. Once that approval gets sent out by email, I'll show you what the email looks like. When I refresh the page, you see that external approval status shows that the email has been sent. I'll show you the email that I received. Here it is. You attach the invoice so I can review it if I want, and I have an approve or reject button sitting right here for me to approve or reject this. So I can do that right from inside my email. I'll go ahead and click that to approve it. And once that approves, I can now just refresh this page and see that my invoice has been approved. All right, so that's taking advantage of our AR toolkit and what we call external approval. The nice thing is those people that are doing approvals via email don't even need a NetSuite license. So now we've gone ahead and approved that email, and the system will then automatically create a subscription within a minute or so. We're doing a demo, so I won't wait. So I'll push that to create it right away. All right. So when you create that invoice and that invoice is then approved, we look at, are there any recurring items on there? And if there are, let's go ahead and create a linked subscription. All right. That's how we handle the ongoing billing. So we've billed the first year right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at that subscription and see what that's going to do for us. On the subscription, we can see it's for this customer we've selected. This is a new subscription. It's going to be billed annually. The first time we billed it was today. The next time we bill it will be a year from now. If it's going to be canceled ever, we can cancel it now, or we can say we want to cancel it on some future date. Otherwise, you can say at the next billing, next year, what do I want to create? Do I want to create an invoice, or do I want to create a sales order? We're going to go ahead and create an invoice. We also allow you to say maybe you want to generate that sales transaction sooner than the actual date. So, you know, rather than actually sending that invoice on 9/22 next year, maybe you want to send it 30 days in advance. We'll still date it honoring this date, but you can generate the invoice 30 days sooner so that you can get that into the customer's hands, hopefully get paid before their next term actually starts. And we show you where it originated from, and then here's your item. Let's jump back to the invoice briefly. Let's see. This environment is using NetSuite's revenue management, so it has what's called revenue arrangements, and that's what we're using. I mentioned at the start, if you don't want to buy the NetSuite revenue module, we would just do this with an amortization schedule, and we would show you that amortization schedule. So what can we all do with this subscription? So first of all, if you have some type of contract where there's ongoing uplift, you can go ahead and set your uplift. If you want, you can say, I'm going to uplift by, $50 each time, or I'm going to uplift by 5%, right? We give you the option either uplift by amount or by percent. And you can say how often you're going to uplift. So it doesn't have to follow your billing. If I do it here, I'm doing it at the whole subscription. I can also do uplifts at the line level. You can also add additional lines here at any time. You can also change amounts. So if something changes here and next year now you want to bill $4,000 instead of $3,600, no problem. Go ahead and do that. Just change the amount. The next time you bill, that's the amount that will bill. We also give you some capabilities on the line item. You can maybe add things that aren't going to start billing till later. So you can go ahead and add it now, and we'll know on the 2023 invoice to skip this because it doesn't start till later. You can put a cancel on date on any given line, and we'll know that, oh, okay, after that date, we will no longer bill. So we give you lots of capabilities for managing how and when things should bill that you can set up at the time you're setting up your subscription and kind of set it and forget it like we talked about. Let's go ahead. This is set to bill a year from now, like I said, but rather than wait a year, I'm going to go ahead and hit this Renew Now button. This will let me go ahead and generate that next invoice. It will still honor that next invoice date, but we won't wait a year for our demo here. Notice that the next billing date has moved out a year, and notice under our related records that we now have a new invoice for next year. Going to this customer, here's our AR toolkit. Right off the bat, we can say, should this customer receive automated invoices? Absolutely, we went ahead and do that. It's going to use the main email address, but we can also set contacts to say, should they receive the invoice as well? So if we go back to that original invoice, here you can see we automatically sent that invoice out. You can send this out to literally an unlimited number of contacts. One of the options that we have is to go ahead and automatically create payments on the invoices. That runs every 15 minutes. We use the credit card that was on file to go ahead and make a payment on this. Last thing I wanted to show you for today is our customer portal to show you what this all looks like. So here's a customer portal. It's kind of boring gray. We'll match your colors, of course, and all that type of stuff to make it look much better. Same in here, we would match your colors, load your logo and all that, but this is what our customer portal looks like. And all this can be personalized for you. If there's different fields you want to show, all that kind of stuff. Here's all our open invoices. If I go to the invoices page, I can just look at my open, see everything paid in full, all that kind of stuff. If I want to pay now, I can go ahead and just click on that. Or if I want to pay multiple invoices, I can go to my make a payment. I can pick which invoices I want to pay. If the customer's maybe disputing, they can say, I don't want to pay the whole thing, I'll pay part of that. They can pick from an existing payment method already set up. They can add a new card, add a new bank account. I will just add that this year we've also added the ability to add convenience fees. They can also update their profile information very easily, whether they're talking, their email address or phone number. Whether you're, taking a look at the credit cards or payment methods on file. And again, this is all PCI compliant. We're not actually storing all this. It's all getting sent to Merchant E, who's taking care of it. On the support side, if you're using NetSuite case management, they can submit new cases, see all their existing cases, and all the back and forth that happens. You can see the whole history here. You kind of picture all this, how this works. You saw how we're creating invoices, we're sending invoices, we're sending follow-up notices to them. We're automatically creating payments. We're letting you manage your subscriptions for ongoing. We're automatically generating those ongoing invoices, and we're giving a nice customer self-service environment for them to go into then. My goal for today was just to kind of give you a taste how our KES SaaS bundle can really automate the entire full end-to-end AR process for any SaaS or related subscription type companies. You can also just go out to our website and go to our Suite Apps page. We have demos of everything out there, detailed information, anything you would like, and we'd love to help you further automate NetSuite and take a lot of workload off your team. Thanks again, everybody, for joining.